Hello, my name is Kent and I'll be presenting our research on the Emerald intraoral scanner and Remex's Compare software for pediatric dental simulation. So in the conventional assessment in dentistry, dental simulation in preclinic is the cornerstone of dental education. Students spend hundreds of hours in the preclinic practicing on artificial plastic teeth. But this time spent may be meaningless without a reliable method of assessment for academic staff and also for self-assessment to assess their preclinical competency. So traditionally preparations are visually graded, so examiners will visually measure the reduction in 2 dimensions and they'll also evaluate subjective criteria like wedges and undercuts. Reportedly this is fraught with a lot of reliability issues between different examiners and even within the same examiner. So that has been a cause for a lot of frustration for academic staff and students, and also because of the limitation in the staff to student ratio, which prevents timely and personalized feedback. So therefore the challenge for academic staff has been in being able to provide reliable and objective feedback, because it's not really possible to visually compare the before and after of a tooth preparation, making reliable measurements quite difficult. Being able to visualize the before and after of a preparation may become possible with the use of the intraoral scanner. The digital assessment involving intraoral scanners have been introduced recently as a reliable, efficient and objective way of evaluation. However, its applicability within pediatric dental education has not been validated yet, especially for preformed metal crowns, and which are also known as stainless steel crown preparations. And also this is the first study that will be utilizing digital scanners for PMC preparation assessments in a preclinical setting. As we can see on the right hand side, the A indicates the Planmeca Emerald scanner, the B is Remex's Compare software, and C shows the pediatric models that we have done our research on. So the comparison of the before and after becomes possible when we mount these teeth on the putty jigs. So these putty jigs have reference lines, and these reference lines act as a guide for us to do a digital cross-section, and we're able to measure these teeth before and after. And we can do this in different orientations as well. Our objectives were to measure the inter and intra-rater reliability using the Planmeca Emerald intraoral scanner and Remex's Compare software on PMC preparations. And secondly, we wanted to evaluate the possible implementation of this software as a grading and self-assessment tool in pediatric dental education. So our method involved scanning 30 randomized de-identified number 75 PMC preparations. So initially we had 3 operators, and we calibrated and trained these operators to assess independently using the Remex's Compare software and the intraoral scanner. And they did this across 2 trials. And then for the analysis, we compared the inter and intra-operator reliability of the method of using the scanner, and then finally we evaluated the feasibility of integrating these digital assessment with traditional visual assessment PMC preparations. So our results showed a very high reliability for the intra-rater, so within the same examiner, and ICC scores were greater than 0.9, and that indicates an excellent ICC score for the intra-rater reliability, as we can see in the figures provided. For each operator, we have very high reliability for each surface of the preparation. And for the inter-rater reliability, the ICC scores were greater than 0.5 for all of them, most of them in between around 0.8 and above, which indicates at least a moderate inter-rater reliability for all three operators. So we can draw several conclusions from this. The digital grading method was reliable in assessing PMC preparations, but there are some limitations. There were software limitations, like the lack of assistance tools to fixate the plane along a single cross-section. The software did not allow measurements to be fixated along the long axis of the tooth, which is straight from top to bottom. And it's also unable to detect subjective criteria like ledges. So due to these software limitations, digital grading alone can't be a replacement for traditional visual grading at the moment. However, it might be a useful adjunct for self-assessment. So in the future, with improvements in software, it might be able to provide more consistent and objective assessment of PMC preparations for the academic staff and students, and with the benefit that it overcomes the limitations in assessor to student ratios and provide personalized feedback. And also it's able to assist students in identifying common areas of mistakes. So this is like more personalized feedback that the digital software is able to provide. And it can reliably assess competency for the safe delivery of treatment on child patients. So in the future, the reliability of the grading method using digital software has to be weighed against the extra time consumed because of the inefficiency at the moment, because of the inability to fix the slice plane along the long axis, which causes us to have to rescan teeth many times. And also if it's unable to detect ledges, and that is a very important criteria in traditional visual grading of PMC preparations. So finally, further investigation on the agreement of the digital measurement method grades with visual grading might be required, so that will be able to test whether the grades given by these digital software is really valid and not only reliable but also appropriate for the level of preparation produced. So we would like to finally acknowledge our supervisors and lab coordinators, and thank you for listening.